Namaste. In Neo Vedanta or Neo Advaita, there is a very popular concept which actually comes from the old Vedanta or old Advaita, that there is no effort required when it comes to enlightenment. Any kind of effort is actually an impediment to enlightenment. Another way to put it is that as long as any karma is active, which is effort, one cannot station oneself in self-realization or self-absorption. This idea does have a lot of validity. However, it also needs to be taken with a pinch of salt. I will now present to you both sides of the argument. One of the esoteric authors whom I follow, L. Ron Gardner, he says that the enlightenment process is like an electrical Ohm's law, which is the function of voltage upon resistance. The current that flows through a circuit is proportional to voltage divided by resistance, which means that there are two factors to this enlightenment equation. One is the factor of the God force or the effort that is required to plug into the God force. And another is absence of resistance, which is actually absence of effort. So when these two factors come together, then maximum current passes through the system. This current is nothing but the pranavayu, the electrical spiritual energy, which is what is considered to be the biggest causal cause of enlightenment. So the numerator of the equation, which is voltage, is the amount of efforts that you put to connect to this God force. And the new denominator is the lack of resistance or the lack of effort. This equation itself proves that the enlightenment process requires one to, on one hand, effort, and on the other hand, to give up all efforts. This appears paradoxical, but just like everything in life, this actually is an ideal paradox. It is the grand paradox of enlightenment. You find masters who teach you that akarma, Adi Shankara himself, who is considered to be the supreme ancient authority on Advaita Vedanta, he himself starts his Brahma Sutra Bhashya with akarmaiva moksha, which means akarma leads to enlightenment, which is a statement in favor of the denominator of the equation. Zero effort, zero resistance, because the effort is the sign of resistance. In many ways, it is an assumption that you're not already enlightened, and then you work towards enlightenment. So in that context, the lesser such an assumption, the smaller such an assumption, the less rigid such an assumption, the more enlightened you are. When you begin from the place that you are enlightened, it is easier to get enlightened. This is a paradoxical statement. However, it is true. At the same time, you will find many people in the Neo-Advaitic or the Neo-Vedantic lineage or the current prevalent traditions where people stop efforting altogether, but then they continue to remain their confused, cluttered selves. And then on the face of it, they believe that non-efforting means they're already enlightened, and On the other hand, they just continue to be the karmic selves that they always were, simply with a thin, fashionable veneer of enlightenment on top. So that also doesn't work. So enlightenment does require one's conscious endeavor, if not effort, because effort being a process in resistance, effort being rooted in non-acceptance. So the enlightenment process does require your conscious endeavor, which is also called sadhana or purushartha, to connect to the God force in some form or the other. So a balanced combination of effort and let go, a balanced combination of sadhana and akarma together results in enlightenment for the aspirant. Thank you.